Hi, hello, and welcome back. Today I am going to be trying out a new style on brand new paper that I've never used before. Lately I've been getting really into the Art Nouveau style, so that would be kind of like stained glass style. That's what I was going for in this piece anyway. I was going to cut out all the preparation parts, but then I decided to leave them in because I personally as an artist like to see it. So I did a sketch on regular sketching paper that was the same size as a watercolor paper I was using, which was Fabriano Studio watercolor paper. That's the one with the 25% cotton. And you can see I used some carbon paper. It's not graphite transfer paper, it's just regular carbon paper because I knew I wanted to ink it with a brush pen, so it didn't matter if it was permanent or not. And then I just taped it down with washi tape to the paper and then taped that paper to the watercolor paper. The watercolor paper was hot press watercolor paper, and I've never used hot press watercolor paper before this, but some YouTubers and Instagram artists that I've been following for a while now love using hot press, so I decided to give it a try. And I have to say, inks on hot press watercolor paper is so enjoyable. Like the smoothness, it's even smoother than, I bought some Bristol paper from a few brands. Only one of them was vellum, but the others were supposed to be like extra smooth cardstock, like extra thick, extra smooth, but none of them came close to the absolute smoothness of this Fabriano hot press watercolor paper. I think I want to try dip pens on it because if you looked at my last sketchbook tour, I will leave a link to that somewhere. But if you look at my last sketchbook tour, you'll see that in the final pages, I used a dip pen with some inks that I had bought, and the paper wasn't really suited for that, so I wanted to try it on some different paper, and the other watercolor paper I tried it on didn't really work very well. But given how really nice this is a Pentel pocket brush pen, so the one with the bristles, and it's filled with either Rotring technical pen ink or Koh-i-Noor technical pen ink. I use both of them. I think I kinda lean more to the Koh-i-Noor, but I don't really mind either one. They're waterproof, alcohol marker proof, technical pen inks, so they don't clog like regular pigment ink, India ink that you would use for dip pens and stuff. But the inks I have is actually calligraphy pen ink that I want to try, and I think it would do really, really nice on this paper. So you can see me finishing up the inking. It was a little hard because I was having some tremors in my hand that day, but it was still really fun to do. I missed using my brush pen. Anybody who knows me knows I love brush pens and thick black line art, which is probably another reason why the whole stained glass look appealed to me, and I just liked it. I really enjoyed this part of the process. I liked the sketching part as well, but the inking part was good. So now I'm taping down the paper to the table so that it doesn't warp too much. And you can see me going in with the watercolors. Now I used pretty much all the watercolors that I have, all the good ones anyway, so no Rosa Gallery watercolors. So these are the Sonnet, the Camlin, Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors. I use, I think, one color, the dark blue in the background you'll see soon, and Paul Rubens. I haven't used my Paul Rubens paints in a long time and I missed them, so I decided to use them, and I still love those watercolors. The first thing I noticed with this paper is that it's really hard to get a flat background, but I've seen other artists do it. A flat wash, I mean. So I think it's probably just my technique. It could also be the paper is not 100% cotton. But the paper did feel strong, like it absorbed the watercolor nice. It just dried faster, but from what I've heard other people say, hot press watercolor paper tends to do that. So I actually did a quick color study on this sketch it's off camera, but I picked out a few of the colors that I really liked and just did a quick thing on the sketch so that I knew what I was going to do when I got to the painting. And it was okay. Honestly, I think from the moment that I put the paint down that I would have preferred this painting if I had done it on the cold press paper. One of the things I wanted to do was do like a wash in the background, especially for the hair, like a gradient, and then go in with the individual colors for each thing, so it would the colors on the whole painting would be unified, which is what I sometimes do with my regular watercolors and even my acrylic paintings. I'll do the whole background in one color so that it kind of tones the paper and it makes the other colors look, well, tones the canvas and makes the other colors look more cohesive. But I couldn't do that here. For some reason, not for some reason, the hot press watercolor paper was sucking out all the water and pigment from the brush way more than normal, because these are the paint brushes and paints that I use all the time. So I'm very experienced in using them. I always use my Camlin and Sonnet watercolor paints. I've used my Paul Rubens for years. I know how these paints and these color brushes work, and it was like just sucking out all the water from inside the bristles, and it was kind of frustrating. I didn't hate it. It wasn't frustrating to the point where I wanted to stop, but it was very noticeable, and I realized I had to be picking up a lot more paint than I normally would to get the colors to look bright. But again, that's something I didn't know before going into this, that hot press watercolor paper generally doesn't look as bright as cold press. But it was still fun. It was nice trying a new style. I liked the colors. I just wish, like I said, I had done it on cold press instead. I think it would have come out a lot better. It would have come out a lot smoother. I even wanted to add in the Kuretake, the metallic paint into this, so you'll see me soon try to do the border with some gold paint, but the Kuretake metallic paints kinda suck. I have the Artist Love metallic paints, and I don't like those paints, but those paints are definitely more metallic than the Kuretake. I know a lot of people like the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors. I have the 36 set. I don't like them, which sucks because I got it for my birthday from a friend and I really, really wanted to like them, but I don't like them. I can't get them to work as I want them to. Anyway, so I'm finishing up the background and I kind of regretted not drawing more flowers around her head, like a flower tiara, a flower crown. And yeah, honestly, I don't really have much else to say about this painting. It was fine. It was okay. I didn't hate it as much as some reviews I saw who say that the paper is the worst of both worlds. It's not cellulose, it's not cotton, but it felt high quality to me. I'm not a professional, but I use watercolors all the time. And I really want to try now the cold press, because I bought a pack of the hot press and a pack of the cold press. I haven't gotten around to trying that yet, so I want to try the cold press. And I also really want to try 100% cotton watercolor paper, but that is going to not be for now, because those are expensive and I really need to stop buying art supplies and finish what I have, because sizing in watercolor paper can go bad and there isn't really much you can do once that happens. I think you'll have to add gelatin or something on top of it, but yeah, I want to use up more of my art supplies, so I think I'm gonna focus on doing some more finished pieces with what I already have and then buy some more. By then I should have some money saved. So we're almost done. I'll leave you to watch the rest and then come back with some ending thoughts and some personal critiques. So stay tuned. So this is a finished piece. It looks a lot brighter on camera and more vibrant. I have a few things to say. Some things I like, some things I don't. One of those things is going to be this paper. I don't really like hot press paper for watercolor, which is not an uncommon opinion, but I have seen some artists that I really like use watercolor paper and they hot press watercolor paper, and they say that's all they use. So it could be that I'm just not using it properly, which, given the fact that I've never used hot press watercolor paper until this point, that could be the case. It was a joy to ink on though. Like, inking on this paper was so nice. I kind of want to try using some dip pens on it. It's so much smoother than even the cardstock I have, and because it's so much thicker, it just doesn't warp as much or rip. I kind of love it for inking. I don't know how I'm going to love it for sketching though, because I know some people like to use hot press watercolor paper for graphite, but this feels a bit too smooth for graphite, but maybe one day I'll try that. I am interested in trying this one though. Like I said, I've never used anything with cotton in it before, and I heard a lot of people say that cotton, the cotton blends paper is the worst of both worlds, and that they don't like it, but I think my style is a lot different from a lot of them. I don't do hyperrealism. I think hyperrealism is the worst kind of art. Yes, worse than abstract. One day I will talk about my opinions on that. So I can't wait to test out a bit more. I think this might do nice for graphite, the cold press one. Yeah, I love working on this thicker paper. It feels so much nicer than the thinner paper I have. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of art, having a lot of inspiration, and I'm enjoying myself, even if this has not come out the way I wanted it to. I've never done anything Art Nouveau, so this was a new style, but I have always wanted to try making a coloring book, and this kind of looked like a coloring book page, and it felt like I was doing a coloring book page, so I think I'm going to try doing some more paintings like this to give it a better try. Like I said, this is really not usually my style. I don't draw women like this. It's too boring. Honestly, I'm just going to say that. I know a lot of artists like to draw these women with like this very dead expression, like, oh, I'm so dead inside, but I'm smiling anyway. I hate that. I prefer to draw people smiling, laughing, making funny faces. I don't like drawing people like this. And if you have followed my channel since my 100 heads challenge, you know I hate those kinds of expressions. The only reason I picked this reference was because it was easy, and because Art Nouveau has, well, based on the pictures I saw, they had a lot of these kinds of expressions. I don't think I'm gonna do it again because it's boring. But yeah, other than the fact that the paper was a bit difficult to work with because I've never used it before, I did enjoy the whole process. I liked the sketching, I liked the inking. The painting was a little frustrating, but not too much because I did finish it in one sitting, so that's fine. If I had to change anything, I'd probably want to add in more shadows. Well, add in shadows at all, but then I think I would probably have to not ink in such graphic lines. But then I also kind of wanted the stained glass look, so yeah. I think the biggest problem I had was that I really wanted to have this part be bright gold, and all I had was the Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolors, and I don't even know if it's showing up at all. It's not really showing up in real life. I really want to try some acrylic ink or something like that to get her more. Oh, I really want to try gold leaf. That looks like fun. But yeah, I don't know why everybody's driving by right at this moment. Anyway, thank you for watching. Follow me for more art experiments and improvement, because this pose, this specific angle used to give me so much trouble, and it did not give me much trouble this time. So yeah, I have definitely improved, if only just in the less frustration I get when drawing and painting. So, yep, that's it. I will see you in another video. Later.